You're watching the Anthony James YouTube channel, where I, Anthony James, as well as some of my friends, review TV and film. It would mean the world to me if you would subscribe. Hello, and welcome to his Dark Materials discussion and review. Well, Eimear, how are you this week? I said I'd ask you, so I'm asking you.
I am pretty good, thank you. I am well. How are you?
Doing well. I've said in a few videos already, Christmas is coming. Now, I don't know, if obviously everyone watching the video might not celebrate Christmas, but at the same time, all I mean when I say that is, school holidays are coming.
Yeah, exactly.
And it means I'm going to get a few weeks off, which is going to be really lovely.
Yeah.
Yes, a little bit more sleep.
Yes, that's always good.
Well, actually, you never know, because we get up at 8 o'clock on the weekends anyway because of the kids. So.
Yes, this is true. Depends, what on the whims of our babies.
Yes, but that'll be all right.
Yeah.
Well, this week's episode of his Dark Materials. Well, before we get into it, guys, could you make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to catch up with us every week and talk about his Dark Materials? Every week we do a review and discussion about it, as well as a load of other stuff going on the channel, so you could head over there and have a check out. If you could like the video, that would work really well. Like, I've never really asked people to like videos before, and then someone in the comments of one of my Star Trek videos said, you need to tell people to like the videos. I told people to like the videos, and I got like double the likes the next week.
Wow. Smash that like button.
Yeah, smash it. Yeah. So if you could like it, guys, that'd be great. If you're on an Xbox or PlayStation, you can like it as well. Click the 3 dots. Anyway, all right. Enough nonsense, YouTube nonsense. Right, okay, so what do you want to talk about first for this episode?
Well, I'm just going to say, as a general feel for the episode, I think this was my favourite so far in the series. It didn't feel like, well, it never does, but I was going to say it doesn't feel like there was a single wasted scene.
Yeah, this was my favourite of this season.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch the first season to compare it properly to everything in there, because I remember there was a lot of stuff in the first season which I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the bear storylines,
Yeah.
I just love that. Beric Jornason, isn't his name?
Yorick Burnison.
Yorick Burnison. Oh, Beric Jornason's a good name.
But I mean, that was a spooner.
Maybe he'll call his son that. But yeah, so I like. I really, really like this episode. I love this episode. Eimear will tell you, I was screaming at the TV 3 or 4 times. I don't understand why they didn't just cut a little passage, put their arm through, grab it, and run away. Like,
right, just to clarify, you're speaking about the alethiometer.
the alethiometer. Well, we all know, if we've watched the episode, you all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, they want to go get the alethiometer, and they have to go into Boreal's basement. But they didn't know that Mrs. Coulter's there too, so obviously there was a huge amount of tension there. Now, I really, really wanted them just to like walk over, and while he was sitting on the couch with the alethiometer next to him, I wanted them to cut a little hole, like a little pocket, arm through, take it. Like, why? Come on, they should have done that. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean,
imagine it from Boreal's perspective, just like a hand appears in thin air and be like, "This is mine now."
Yeah, like obviously it wouldn't be as dramatic, and you wouldn't have got the great character work we got as well. But
yeah. So this episode I thought was particularly revealing for each character, because in that very dramatic scene where we had, we could see sort of.
Hang on, in that dramatic scene again.
In that very dramatic scene where they get there's the knife and the alethiometer and the struggle between everybody. You could see what each character was when they were desperate.
Yeah.
Because all 4 of them in that room were desperate, experiencing desperation. And it was very telling and kind of sad, I thought, that in desperation, Lyra turned to violence. And it was quite...
It helped out at the time, though.
It did. But what I thought was interesting was she kind of knew herself that it was the wrong response, and she said to her mother, "I'm nothing like you," but she was. She was being Mrs. Coulter in that moment, and I think that was kind of poignant, and I thought it was good and kind of it showed the struggle within Lyra, that the sort of the good and evil in her.
Yeah, but it was really cool though. Like,
it was really
whenever
cool.
It
was
like,
badass.
Yeah, like I really thought it was good. I enjoyed it very much. So whenever Pan turned into a badger.
Yeah, or like a Wolverine maybe.
Wolverine, maybe, yeah. And he turned into that, and he started like just going at the monkey. Like, that's a great, like the fact that monkey was getting torn to shreds, that was fantastic. Yeah. Considering also what we saw in the first season, whenever the monkey was holding Pan's head to the ground.
Yes, yeah. And it tells you about Mrs. Coulter's character arc as well, and that she just took it. She sat there and took it. She didn't even try to to defend herself.
Yeah,
she just tried to just absorb it.
She's finished physically abusing her child.
Yeah, I think
possibly she's growing. Maybe
she's growing. I think she is, because I think whenever I think the arc that we're seeing with Mrs. Coulter is that obviously she's still an evil psychopath of a person.
Yeah.
But when she first sort of took on Lyra, we've discussed in previous episodes that basically she's a narcissist and she's a psychopath, and I think she wanted to train up a mini her.
Yeah.
And have her as a possession, whereas I feel like that's kind of flipping now, and she actually didn't expect it, but she was quite taken by Lyra and actually started to feel like a connection to her or some amount of love for her, because
once she saw that Lyra's competent, she knows Lyra now has been going and researching the dust, and she's going to learn, and she's learning all these things on her own. Bless you. She's learning all these things on her own, and she's actually able to now fully use the lithiometer on her own. And like Mrs. Coulter's getting to the point where she's like really impressed by her own daughter.
I think so, because that was revealed as well whenever she went and met Mary in Mary's office, and she said, "You must be so proud of her," and she just said, "I am." And I think that was a moment, a rare moment of truth from Mrs. Coulter.
Yeah.
I really could see that in the performance. So I think that's another thing. All the performances in this episode were fantastic. I mean, they always are.
Boreal was creepy as hell in this episode.
Yeah.
Like just hanging about, thinking Mrs. Coulter was going to change in front of him and all. He's really creepy, I think.
He is a creepy. Yeah, he's
creepy so-and-so.
He is a real creep. But I think as well that kind of in a way reveals we're kind of learning that he really isn't as smart as Mrs. Coulter.
Yeah.
He's just taken advantage of. He just knows how to exploit his situation. Yeah,
I love that Will just cut that little thing.
A
little antique or whatever it is.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. It's not an antique. What would you call it?
I guess
historical artifact. Yeah. He just cut it. That was great. I honestly thought whenever Boreal started going on about Will's mother and sort of threatening his mother, so to speak, I really thought that Will was just going to pick up the snake and cut its head off.
I mean, that would have been amazing.
I really wanted that to happen.
Well, we know that Will has killed a person, and that regret is weighing on him.
Yeah, it's already starting to weigh on him.
Yeah, and so even though it was completely in self-defense,
he didn't kill a person.
No, he surprised him by leaping at him in sort of self-defense, and then he fell over the banisters and died. So.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I thought you were talking about Angelica's brother Tullio.
Oh no,
but actually, yes, you're talking about the guy in the first
I'm talking about way back.
Yes,
back when, and he. That's why the alethiometer told Lyra he's a murderer.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, I remember that now. A good type of murderer.
A good type of murderer.
Yeah.
There is such a thing. Well, I think in Will's case, we will say there is such a thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And he kind of in this episode as well, that it was alluded to the idea that he was sort of the cause, him and Lyra, the cause of Tullio losing his soul, or how you would say, whatever the Spectre gets.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that scene was very emotional. Whenever we encountered the two girls grieving over Tullio, I thought that was utterly horrifying. It's like a peek into a wake house, except it's much, much worse because it's he's not even dead. It was horrifying.
Yeah, exactly. And they were still whenever they started walking at the end, they were still putting their arm around him and bringing them with it.
Yeah, and trying
even
to
say, he's not there anymore.
Come and don't leave us, or whatever it was they were saying. It was really sad, I thought, and it was a really excellent performance once again from Bella Ramsey and the other actress whose name I don't know.
Yeah, and I can fully empathize with Angelica there. Like, you would be angry at Lyra.
Oh yeah, you would. And she's not a nice character, but you felt for her there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I thought it was really excellently done.
Yeah. Okay. So what about? So there's a lot to unpack in this episode in terms of major themes in the show.
Yeah.
I said last week, sort of as a little bit of a joke, because one of my main things I do on YouTube is analyze a show called Dark, and in Dark there's heavy Adam and Eve themes. So I said as a joke.
I beg your pardon.
You're right. He's all right. I said as a joke last week that we could, that I'm not going to go down the Adam and Eve route. I might start formulating a theory.
Yeah.
Little did I know that.
I know I said nothing, but I was like.
Yeah, you said nothing, but little did I know it's exactly what the arc of the show is going to be.
Yeah.
So basically, it's anytime you bring free will into it, my mind automatically goes Adam and Eve, right?
Well, that makes sense.
So Lyra is going to be the chosen one who sort of brings free will back because everything's being controlled by dust or whatever. I think Mrs. Coulter said that. No, who said that? A character earlier in the season said that she's going to restore free will or something.
This is the prophecy that everyone's talking about.
Oh, yeah, but obviously we assume it's Lyra. Oh, it was the witches, I think, maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, so that makes me think, okay, obviously she's the Eve then, Will's the Adam. Now, Mary Malone has been inscripted as the
serpent.
The serpent.
Yeah, she was flat up told by the angels or dust.
Yeah, you are, like, take the role of the serpent. That was really interesting to me, how they're being so overt about it.
Yeah.
Free will, serpent. I suppose it's overt for people who are very familiar with those themes.
Yeah, with the religious text. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously it's like we all I've talked about the Magisterium for a long time now. They're doing religious stuff in this all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to me. Like, Will come from our world, Lyra came from her world. I'm trying to see the symbolism there, like, because Will would technically, no one has free will in any world. Yeah, actually, so it's the chosen one for all worlds. Interesting. Is the amber spyglass the metaphor for the apple?
I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, I think I got it. Amber spyglass is the apple. Okay, cool. Anyway, what do you think about this?
Well, I want to go back to that scene where the computer, as it were, was talking to Mary Malone.
That's right. Yep.
That scene gave me chills. I was like, oh, this is so creepy. It was another thing that was really well done, I thought, because imagine from her perspective, it's like the voice of an angel is coming at you through a computer, and it's like, go, you have a mission.
Yeah.
You just like, and then everything shuts off, and she's just like, well, guess I gotta do it then.
Yeah. I was thinking of taking a bit of time for myself. Going around, because maybe a bit further than Dover.
Yep.
That was
Devon, wasn't it?
Devon. Oh, it was Devon. Yeah. That was cool. Like, I'll take a little. And she's literally gone through the idea of her like tricking the Guardian.
Yeah.
Just the guard.
It's actually, there's a bit of humor to that.
Yeah.
That the angels are speaking in an archaic way, and they're like you must deceive the Guardian, you will be protected.
Yeah.
And it's just like some guy sitting with like a tent behind him.
You, Mrs. Coulter. That was great. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see. She said she'd be protected from the spectres. I'd imagine.
We assume.
Yeah, she said she'd be protected, so I'd imagine she will be. Very interested to see. Also, another method that Will and Lyra could have used is open up a portal and send a spectre through to kill Boreal. I probably would have done that.
They can't see the spectres, though. They don't know.
You just open a tiny one and leave it open for a while. Just wait, Just wait.
Okay.
No, the pocket and then their arm through. That's the best way. That's what you would have done too. That's what everyone would have done.
Yeah.
Everyone watching that is screaming at the screen, just make a pocket,
Yeah. Stick your hand in it, mate.
Yeah, stick your hand in. Exactly. But I really like that. I'm you know what? I'm surprised by the absence of the witches in this episode.
Well, they were mentioned.
They were mentioned, yes.
Witches appeared and fucked shit up. And the Magisterium was like, oh my god, we killed them all and they retaliated? Yeah. How dare they?
What was they said? What was it they put it? They
said it was an act of God.
Kill down men in cold blood.
Yeah. We were like, no, they didn't. Yeah. You struck first, you bastards.
Yeah, it was like the definition of hot blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was...
Yeah, it was revenge, like...
It was 100% revenge, but that was properly really aggravating, like hearing their side on that.
The more we see of the Magisterium, the more they're cemented as villains.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. One thing I've actually noticed is a lot of the like sort of bad, faithful Magisterium types, including Boreal in this, they have demons that are very easy to hide.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to me, and I think there probably could be something read into that, but I don't know if that is true across the board. But for the ones we see, like there's spiders or bugs or rats or snakes, they are very easy to be hidden. And maybe is that something like because they're all part of the one sort of Magisterium, they're all part of the one thing that they hide their souls,
Yeah, it could be a comment on conformity.
Yeah.
Although they're not all the same creature, so maybe not. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show, on the videos before, but I say to Eimear every time we watch it, like, I wonder what Will's demon's going to be. Because in my own mind, like, how you talk about your own demons? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You talk about, like, if you had a demon. But now we know that his dad has a demon.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Will's going to get a demon because he's like he's with Lyra. He's like kind of along with ride with the chosen one. In my mind, I think he's going to get a demon. So I wonder what it's going to be. Because he'll probably get a demon when he's already old enough that it won't transition. It'll just settle as soon as he gets it. So what demon does he get?
I will neither confirm nor deny the existence of Will's demon.
Okay. You can see our demons behind us here?
Yeah. That's them.
Yeah. They're not really, but I suppose we could just go with that.
Yeah.
Let's just go with that. But, so what else would you have to talk about this one?
I don't really know. I guess, I mean, I feel like I've said everything I want to say about how good this episode was, but I just want to ask you then, as the person who doesn't know the story, or is finding it out as you're watching it, because you haven't read it, where do you think this is going next?
Going next?
Yeah, what do you have any predictions?
They're going to have to go to other worlds. That's the first, I've said that all along. They're going to go to other worlds. I'm interested to see what those worlds are, 100%. I think the worlds we've seen so far have been close enough to, like, obviously one of them's our world.
Yeah.
So one of them's our world. One of them is Chitagati, which seems very close to our world, except for certain aspects differently.
Yeah.
And then there's also Lyra's world, which obviously is the most different of them all. I think whenever this is all said and done, we're going to see a world that is so different to anything that we've seen. So like Lyra's world really has echoes of our world. I think that when we are going, I think we're going to see a world that has nothing similar at all. That's what I hope for.
Okay, yeah. And what about in terms of like the characters? Any
I don't think Lee Scoresby is going to catch up with Lyra this season.
Okay.
Maybe it'd be weird to have a whole book where he didn't. So maybe he will, but I'm going to predict he won't.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because it would be strange if you had Will's dad and Will meeting up this early.
Mm-hmm.
I think Will's dad, I think it's going to be interesting in the way that Will's dad is going to it's not going to be all happy families when they meet up. I think Mrs. Coulter is going to continue sort of warming to Lyra or warming to the idea of needing to protect her or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Miss Coulter at the end doesn't want Lyra to succeed, but I think that Will's dad will also go against them. I think
really?
I don't think Will's dad will just want to be a happy father now. Like, he did leave him after all. Like, I think that there's going to be a lot more sort of stuff going on there. I'm interested. Where the hell are the witches? They flew through the portal into that world.
Yeah.
And now where are they? Like, it's not like the city's right there. There's not much else about.
Well,
and Azrael again. Where's Azrael?
Yeah, I guess. Well, the witches and Azrael have their own agendas.
Yeah.
Like Azrael.
Well, but the witches want to get to Lyra. They've said that.
Yeah, to help her along.
Yeah.
On her mission. But that's not exclusively what they want to do. They're also they've also been pulled into a war. Their people have been attacked. Uh-huh. So it's not as black and white as that for the witches.
If you would ask me though what my prediction is for the end of the season, like where's the story going to end?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I think it might end with them going through to another world. Like, it might like it did the first season.
Yeah.
Like if you'd asked me halfway through the first season where's this going to end, I'd have no idea.
Yeah, it's so out there a story. It's so not contained.
Yeah, like I honestly, like, in terms of the character, I could see the character growth, I could see the character arcs and how they're going.
Yeah.
But in terms of where the story will be positioned from like a, world point of view, from like a which character's going to be with which, or I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, really, it's good for not being predictable. You'll say that about it.
Yeah, which is to say something, because other shows that I've reviewed on the channel, as well as other shows I watch, I'm able to say, well, that's that, so it's going to be that. Whereas in this, I think I can do that with characters to a certain amount, but not the storyline.
But it's interesting because you now know that it is referencing the Bible stories.
Yes.
And so it's interesting that you can't, even though you know it's paralleling things from the Bible, you still can't say where it's going to go because it's still different enough.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is as well, like I can't see an analogy for Eden.
What about
I can't see it in a Garden of Eden. Like where's the Garden of Eden? Like,
yeah. What about
obviously it's going to be a negative thing. When I'm thinking of the Garden of Eden, I'm thinking of a positive thing, like the Bible describes. Even though I don't view it as a positive thing because there's no free will, but or the humans always have it. That's why they were able to make the anyway. So I know that the way the show's everything in the religious side is very negative.
Yeah.
So I need to start shifting my mind in terms of the Adam and Eve storyline now to think of negative.
Yeah, like how would the story be twisted to be inverted?
Like it's interesting because like my own personal belief is that eating the apple was the best thing for the human race ever, right? So I don't think it actually happened, but anyway, like there was Adam and Eve didn't eat the apple, like, but it's a metaphor. But basically, I think that was probably the best thing. Like I like having free will, or I like being able to make my own decisions.
It's about adulthood, really.
So I'm thinking Philip Pullman just thought the same thing, and now I'm just wondering like. I'd imagine like when it's done, the idea would be that they're going into a Garden of Eden like thing after it's done.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, you're saying about free will being sort of better after eating the apple. It is really it's parallel with that whole specters don't attack children. The idea of adulthood.
Yeah.
And it's because the notion is that you'd be in the Garden of Eden, you'd have everything you want, but you wouldn't be knowledgeable and you wouldn't know everything.
Yep.
You're essentially a protected child. So it's like it's a parental bubble, is what the Garden of Eden is, and you can see those parallels throughout the story as well, because children's demons, they don't settle, they're always changing, and children are different than adults in this world, and obviously the specters recognize that as well. It's just very, a lot of interesting imagery, I'll say. Really
interesting, and like to be honest with you, just to analyze the Bible for a second, like the idea that the human race had to be punished, or Jesus had to be punished, because of the original sin of man taking the apple, it's very interesting to me because the idea is. Like the fact, the way we could or we should read the story is, mankind already had free will. The serpent just said, "Hey, take that." Like, if they didn't already have free will before they ate the apple, they wouldn't take the apple. Mm-hmm. So the fact of the matter is, God was punishing His own Son Jesus, or part of Himself, because of humans' nature.
Yeah.
Not because of the sin. Because of the nature of humans.
Yeah.
But He created them, so...
We were made in His image and likeness, according to the Bible.
Exactly, but what's the thing that we despise more than ourselves? I've cracked it, guys! Right, I've cracked it. I've cracked religion. Right.
Solved.
Alright, we didn't expect that to happen in this video, but it happened, guys. So, remember where you were. This is one of those moments. Alright, anyway, thanks very much for watching.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed this episode this week. Can't wait for the next 3. I think there's 3 left, 3 more to go.
I'm going to be sad when it's over. I love this show so much.
Yeah, well, we'll be back next year. Next year.
Yeah.
But really, really loved it. Right, guys, can you make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back next week. Anything less to say?
No, just see you then.
Yeah, sorry for all the baby noises. He's over.
He's going to do that.
he's a little overtired or something, but he's going to do that. He's a great baby. He didn't do anything wrong. So, see you later.
It's his nature.
I'm not going to torture my son for it, though. Bye.
Bye.